Yo, what's up, guys? We're back, and we're here for another UFC Fight Night. This week, it's Overeem versus Sakai, so we're going to get right into it. The first fight of the night, Brian Kelleher, Kevin Natividad, and this is a good fight. You know, Kelleher, we all really know him. You know, he's a dog, good cardio, durability, comes forward, pretty nice kicks, good low kicks for sure, and, real nice left hook. We've seen him knock guys out with that. He'll use his jab to get inside, and inside he'll throw those big hooks, uppercuts. He, is hittable, but he eats shots, comes forward, and kind of wears on guys. And he has 8 knockouts in his career. He's only been finished by strikes against John Lineker, who's, obviously one of the hardest hitting guys in that division. And he's a very good submission grappler. You know, his wrestling isn't the best, but, he does have a decent single leg, real nice guillotine. And, even in his fight with Cody Stamann didn't really want to take him down. He was taken down versus Damian Stasiak, controlled a bit, but Stasiak is a pretty good wrestler, man. I mean, that guy took down Pedro Munoz as well. Kelleher has an 84% takedown defense in the UFC, but he tends to kind of get submitted at times, like Montel Jackson has submitted him. He, has been submitted 6 times. He has 9 submissions himself. But his opponent, Kevin, is an athletic boxer wrestler. He obviously is going to be making his debut here. Good forward pressure head movement. He cuts angles well. Good lead left hook. And he kind of tries to draw out counters, land hook combinations. He throws some nice straight shots down the middle. And, he creates counters opportunities with his speed, with the ability to cut angles that he has. Good body shots. He doesn't really throw many kicks. Doesn't check low kicks either. And isn't a very high volume guy, but he does have power in his hands. He has 5 knockouts. And his one loss, he was finished in 9 seconds by KO. He's also a decent grappler. I mean, Kevin, he's an athletic guy, good level changes. He has a nice double leg, and he's strong in the clinch. On top, he really isn't super dangerous. He doesn't really have the best jiu-jitsu, but decent top control. I have seen him taken down himself, though, in fights controlled by guys with low-level records like 7-7. And he does slow down a little bit. He doesn't really have the best cardio. So I do think early on, Kevin might win the first round. He may be able to, do well for a portion of the fight. But I just think that Kelleher, the veteran, similar to the fight with Hunter Azure, who's also fighting on this card, I think that he'll just be able to wear on him, come forward, just get him tired, throw those low kicks, and maybe get a finish, maybe get a decision. But Kelleher is usually a finisher, so I think maybe he'll get a late round finish in this fight. I wouldn't count out Kevin, though. I think Kevin is a decent prospect here. He's athletic, good movement, decent boxing. So if he can just stick and move and outbox Kelleher, there is a path to victory for him. But my pick is going to be Brian Kelleher to get the win here. Next year we had a fight that I kind of struggled with the pick. We got Hunter Azure, Cole Smith. Hunter Azure, he obviously needs to bounce back here. He was a pretty big favorite, if I remember correctly, against Brian Kelleher, but after having a really good first round, he got knocked out. Previous to that, he was undefeated at 8-0. Cole Smith, same thing. He was 7-0 going into his last fight. He lost a split decision to Miles Johns. So both these guys had their perfect record snap last time, so we have to see how both of them bounce back. Both guys are wrestlers, but Azure has kind of rounded out his game more, where I do believe he's better with the stand-up. He has good low kicks. He throws power hooks, overhands, but he's a little bit open to being hit. He slows down, how we saw in his last fight with Kelleher, and he was knocked out pretty viciously in that fight with the left hook. But, he has a real nice left hook of his own. He really double triples up on it. He'll feint that left hook, come with the overhand right, low kicks. He attacks the body. So he's decent striker, meat and potatoes kind of striker. But, he has long arms. You could see he's 5'8", but has a 3.5 inch reach advantage on his 5'11 opponent. And, he uses that a little bit. He'll pot shot guys and wrestle. He has good singles, good doubles, but in UFC, he hasn't really used his grappling very much. Brad Katona was able to control him, take him down against the cage. And I think that Cole Smith is going to do the same thing. Obviously, if you've seen any of Cole Smith's fights, he's one of the biggest, longest guys in the division. He's a grinder. He has real good grappling. He gets in that clinch, controls you against the fence, and just zaps you. He's kind of wild with the striking, but he uses it to back his opponents up, clinch against the cage, and good double legs there. He'll circle to the back. He was able to take Miles John's back multiple rounds, control him. He has good rear naked chokes, and his cardio really is what's the best for his game. Not really the best on the feet, not really the best on the ground, but good wrestling. A big guy for the division, great cardio, can just wear on you. He has real nice low kicks though. He does nice front kicks, but he's very hittable. He doesn't move his head. So I think this is like a coin flip type of fight, because we've seen Azure against Brad Katona taken down, controlled against the fence for a period of times, but he's shown, a good get-up game, good ability to circle off the cage, and, he's done well against grapplers in the past. I just kind of feel like with the line plus 170, I think it's a coin flip fight. Azure is coming off a knockout loss, so I don't think he's going to want to go in there and just bang with Cole Smith. I think that if it's a grappling fight, if grappling heavy, I just favor Cole Smith to grind it out. I think his cardio is better too. So I'm going to pick Cole Smith here to get the upset victory via decision. Up next here, we got a good one. We got a heavyweight fight, Alexander Romanov versus Marcos Rogerio de Lima. And hopefully Romanov finally gets to get in the cage this time. It's been multiple times that we've tried to see him in the octagon and just something has came up. He hasn't been able to fight. I think that he was supposed to fight 2 times before in the UFC. Once in July, I think once well before July, and just hasn't been able to happen because of the pandemic. But he's 11-0, big athletic heavyweight. And on the feet, he's fast. He comes forward, keeps a good pace, throws a lot of kicks, but real wild striking. I mean, super unrefined, very hittable. He, just runs forward at times with his hands down. You could see the greenness in his striking, but he's a big guy, like I said, and his athleticism and speed does, allow him to close the distance with that wild striking, and that's what he wants to do because he's a pretty beast grappler, man. I mean, Greco-Roman style grappler. He gets a hold of these guys. He can hit suplexes, belly-to-belly suplexes. He could slam you on your head from, back control standing. He has, his top control is okay. I mean, I really don't think that he's the best on the ground either, but he's unrelenting with the takedowns. If he, if you get up, he'll slam you down again. Pretty good cardio for someone his size, but gets a lot of quick finishes. He can go maybe 2 rounds. That 3rd round becomes very sketchy. I mean, I've seen him in that 3rd round a couple times. Super sloppy striking. He's super gassed, going for bad takedowns. People are able to deny his takedowns much easier. So if he gets to that 3rd round, pays out, probably will finish Alexander Romanov in all honesty. But what his Pesao really struggled with throughout his whole career is grapplers, guys that grind on him, that could take him down and get in a dominant position, submit him, that could, pound him out on the mat. And that's exactly what we got here, with the 11-0 Romanov, 11 finishes. When you look at Pesao's career, a lot of guys that defeated him are grappling-based fighters. Stefan Struve took him down, submitted him. OSP took him down, submitted him. Antigulov submitted him, Nikita Krylov. So all these guys are, grappling-based fighters. And you look at his record since 2015, it's been win-loss, win-loss. And, he did get the victory over Ben Sassoli. That fight, was a real easy fight for him. He had a big speed advantage, walked Sassoli down, chopped his leg, beat him up, knocked him out. And on the feet, he is going to have a big advantage here. I do think that, he's kind of implemented a grappling game plan as a heavyweight, though. He's controlled guys against the fence, went for takedowns. He did that against Stefan Struve in the 1st round. After dropping him, he controlled him in his guard. Against Adam Weiserick, he controlled him for 3 rounds, really in top position. So I don't know what it is with that. I don't know if he feels like his cardio isn't as good, or if he doesn't hit as hard, doesn't take a punch as well at heavyweight, but something, changed where he wants to be more of a grappling heavy base here at the higher weight class. And I just feel like this is a bad matchup for him. I think that Romanov is going to make him work in the grappling. We've seen Pesao de Lima gas out very quickly before. Unless he could just chop the legs early, really, compromise Romanov, or deny the takedowns and stay on the feet and just butcher him. I just see Romanov getting him down, getting into a dominant position after Peizau's a little bit tired and finishing him on the mat. So I'm going to definitely go with Alexander Romanov here. I'm confident in the pick, and he's actually one of my more confident picks on the card here. So Alexander Romanov, I like him here. Actually, when he fought Marcin Tybura, I was going to pick Tybura, so different matchup. I do like him for this matchup, and the pick for me is going to be Romanov, most likely inside the distance. And in the next one, we got a women's 125-pound fight with Vivi Araujo taking on Montana De La Rosa. And Araujo, she was unsuccessful trying to break into that top 5, top 3 of the division last time. Lost that decision to Jessica Ai. And, at 33 years old, she has to get a dominant win here, try to move up the division as quickly as possible. Montana De La Rosa, 25 years old, 4-1 in the UFC, so she's done well so far. She did have a good win over Mara Romero Barella her last time out, so she's going to be confident here coming in off a couple wins. Or I don't know if it's a couple wins, but I think it's 4 out of her last 5. She did lose to Andrea Lee in her second to last fight, but the competition level for De La Rosa hasn't been very good. And looking at this fight, you would say it's probably a grappler versus striker match on paper. I do think Araujo has a humongous advantage on the feet. I mean, De La Rosa, her striking is improving, but a little bit stiff. She leaves her chin out there. Very hittable girl. She is very durable. She's a tough chick, but Araujo is one of the hardest hitters in that division. So I definitely think that Araujo is live for a knockout here. I mean, Araujo has good movement, straight punches down the middle, kicks. Her straight shots are going to be a big issue for De La Rosa, man, because she's fast, sharp. De La Rosa hasn't really been fighting the best strikers. When she fought Andrea Lee kind of butchered her on the feet, controlled her on the mat. And Araujo has a good top game herself, good level changes, good double legs. The only way Araujo is losing this fight is if she, allows Montana to get her tired or just continuously take her back from standing, control her on the mat, take her back on the ground. But I feel like this is a good matchup for Vivi Araujo to get back in the win column. I just feel like she's a better wrestler. She might even be the better grappler. I don't know about straight jiu-jitsu, but on top, I definitely think she could control, avoid the submission, avoid getting swept, and do well. On the feet, I think there's a big gap. I think there's an athleticism gap. I feel like Araujo's been fighting the higher level competition. To me, this fight kind of is similar to Araujo versus Toledo Bernardo, that matchup that Araujo had, where it's a tough grappler, durable, but I just feel like Araujo is going to be able to outclass her on the feet, maybe even get her out of there. Montana's a tough girl, but I'm actually going to go with Araujo via TKO finish here in the later rounds. Up next, we got a nice contrast of styles with Bartosz Fabinski and Andre Muniz. We got the grinder and Bartosz Fabinski. I mean, Fabinski doesn't really strike very much, man. He uses some spinning attacks, some big actions, close that distance, get the fight to the ground. Decently explosive guy, and when he gets it there, he likes that leg lace. He'll control you. He'll just sit in dominant position and grind you out. He's not really a big finisher. He has some decent ground and pound. It's really just top control, decision, and that's his game. I mean, that's what he likes to do here, and he's facing Andre Muniz, who's a legit black belt in jiu-jitsu, real nice sweeps, submissions, very, very good on the ground. I mean, he's just an elite guy with his jiu-jitsu. But Muniz is very aggressive on the feet as well. I mean, he'll come forward with big looping hooks. He'll mix in some body kicks, high kicks. He'll throw some straight punches, uppercuts. He's hittable himself, but I definitely feel like he's the better striker of the two guys. I don't think he's going to be able to take down a guy like Bartosz Fabinski, but he'll jump on guillotines. He has a real nice triangle, real nice armbar. And Bartosz Fabinski, I mean, I've seen Fabinski put it to bad positions, but Munoz's game is almost borderline reckless as well. I mean, he goes for submissions, he's very aggressive on the feet, and due to that, I mean, he's gotten a decision 3 times in 22 fights. 4 times, and he is 4-0 in those fights, but 14 of his 18 wins have been within the first 2 rounds, and he has 10 submission victories, so I mean, that's usually what he likes to do here. Both these guys have decent cardio, but it's just going to come down to if Bartosz can just control him, avoid the bad positions, not get submitted. I don't know if he could do that. I mean, I've seen Bartosz put in some bad positions against lower level guys like Gareth McClellan, things like that. Bartosz could come in here, get few takedowns make it look easy, but I'm actually going to pick Andre Muniz to get the submission victory here. I know he's the slight underdog, and I think he's just going to be able to get a submission here. So my pick is going to be Andre Muniz. Up next here, man, I hate this fight. We got Jalin Turner, Thiago Moises. Moises is going to be a second fight in this, COVID era. He did defeat Michael Johnson by submission his last time out. Jalin Turner, obviously, has been up and down in the UFC, 2-2 overall, and the two guys he's beaten, I don't think they're UFC level. He has gotten 2 nice KO finishes in those fights, and that's what he is, man. He's a very big, powerful, lightweight, one-shot finishing ability, 6'3", 75.5-inch reach, and he likes to kind of inch forward, not use a lot of movement, look to counter. He just puts some combinations together behind the jab, and he'll switch stances. He'll throw the 1-2, he'll rip the body. He'll, feint low after he establishes the body hooks and go up with the uppercuts. He has decent overhands, wide hooks. And he'll throw a lot of kicks, stabbing front kicks, head kicks. And he'll throw some, decent spinning back kicks to the body as well. He has some dangerous counter knees. And his forward pressure, his size, his presence just overwhelms a lot of guys. And then he has power, so when he hits them, he finishes the fight. But if you look at Turner's record, 7 of his 8 wins have came via first-round finish. And he's pretty flat-footed, low volume, kind of a bit slow. Matt Frevola, was touching and moving a lot. Turner couldn't really match the speed. And Turner will leave his chin right on center line. He squares up. He'll throw front knees up the middle or body kicks too close, leave his chin right in the air. And due to that, he's been knocked out 3 times already as a pro. He has a weak chin. And not really the best grappler. I mean, he has good knees and elbows in the clinch. His takedown defense is improved. I mean, nice underhooks. He has a nice whizzer. But he can't be taken down. He squares up his stance. He gives up his hips. He, throws some naked kicks at times. Gets Matt Frevola. He was almost guillotined a couple times. He did show some good composure, good submission defense. In this fight with Thiago Moises, I don't think he wants to put himself in those positions because, Thiago Moises is an elite guy on the ground. But in his last fight, I will say Jalin Turner did, attack a nice high elbow guillotine. He did pretty well on top, landed some big ground and pound, finished the fight. But that was against a very low level guy. But when you're talking about Thiago Moises, he gives up the center, doesn't throw very much volume on the feet. When he does throw, he looks good. I mean, nice lead left hook. He throws nice straight punches down the pipe. Good kicks, spinning kicks, round kicks, front kicks. And when he lets go, he's explosive. I do think he's faster than Jalin. And he's definitely the more durable of the two guys. But definitely throws less volume. He's going to give up the center of the cage. And in terms of the grappling, he has decent level changes. He did do a good job of, shooting a single and immediately going to a leg lock, winning the fight that way against Michael Johnson. Hit some doubles against Kurt Halabaugh. But Jalin Turner, I don't know if he's going to be able to take him down or feel comfortable shooting on him. And if it's on the feet, I don't know. I mean, it could be a very close, low-volume fight. I just feel like Turner will be coming forward, controlling that distance. Moises, if he takes him down, could get a finish. I'm going to pick Jalin Turner here. I'm not confident in the pick at all, but I'm going to pick Jalin Turner via TKO or submission, or decision, excuse me. Up next here, we got Zelim Imadaev taking on Michel Pereira. This one I'm not going to spend a lot of time on either because, man, in terms of a fight in the cage, I think it's going to probably be awesome, badass fight, but in terms of betting, man, you don't want to be anywhere near this fight at all, and two real flashy guys. Zelim throws a lot of spins. Michel, flips, does craziness in the cage. We all know about him. So, it could be fireworks on the feet. Both these guys open up, get very wild, become hittable. We saw Zelim throw very wide in the pocket his last fight, get caught, knocked out by Roosevelt Roberts. We've seen Michel Pereira kind of really struggle with forward pressure in one of his fights on the regional scene. And just walked down, dominated, finished by Dusko Todorovic, who's in the UFC now. And, we've seen Tristan Connolly pressure him, take him down, control him after his little blitzes. Against Diego Sanchez, he did look a little more controlled, was throwing less craziness, had good cardio, but Diego wasn't giving him anything, man. So that's almost a wash of a fight, and he got a loss because of the DQ there. So just further proves, the ability you can't trust him. For Zelim, obviously he's 0-2 in the UFC, looked bad, and But I have seen him grapple a little bit, shoot some takedowns. He is from Russia, so man, I mean, I feel like he should have the grappling advantage here. On the feet, I mean, both these guys could knock each other out. I think that Michel's maybe a little bit cleaner, better on the feet, but I don't know. I'm going to pick Zelim and Imadaev. I think that he'll mix it up, maybe hit some takedowns, close the distance. A lot of Michel's, wins come from guys just freezing, looking at what he's doing. And Zelim, he is kind of an asshole, but he's a stone cold killer. I don't think he's going to really care about Michel spinning, jumping, playing around in there. I think he's going to be in there to just go for the kill, go for the finish. So I could see him going in there, getting a knockout, getting a, TKO on the ground. So I'm going to go with Zelim Imadaev, and I think he's going to get it done. In this next fight, we got Sijara Eubanks taking out Karol Rosa. Good fight. Sijara Eubanks, she's going to be looking to make it 2 in a row here. She did get a win over Sarah Marasser last time out. And she's been kind of disappointed in the UFC, though. She needs to kind of string some wins together, to where, get to where people expect her to be. At 35 years old, I mean, maybe she'll never get there. I mean, we have to wait and see. She was expected to face Macy Chiasson, but Chiasson is out. Now she's being replaced by Karol Rosa. And Rosa, she was victorious in July. Got a easy victory over Vanessa Melo. And she's on a 4-fight winning streak, 2-0 in the UFC. 25 years old. She is improving pretty well. And this is a big opportunity for Rosa to get her a name out there. If she can defeat a former top 5 125-pound fighter, that would be big for her. And this is a good fight. It's kind of a contrast of styles. On paper, you might say it's a tough matchup for Karol Rosa. Rosa's been submitted twice in the past. She's been taken down and controlled. Eubanks is a black belt, good wrestling skills. She's actually pretty good on the ground, though, Rosa. And Rosa can grind herself. On bottom, Rosa is very good at never laying flat. She's always looking to sweep. Good reversals. She's hard to hold down. And when Rosa gets on top, she isn't that dangerous, but she has good control. In her fight with Larissa Pacheco, she was kind of dominated in the clinch, taken down there, and I do kind of feel like Eubanks have a big strength advantage. But the fight was at a very fast pace, a lot of scrambling. Rosa got takedowns herself, and eventually she just got tired, got submitted. Eubanks, more of a top-heavy fighter, big ground and pound, good level changes, good double legs, and I'm almost positive she's going to get a takedown, probably win the first round, but I'm not sure she's going to be able to hold down or do much damage to Rosa. I also feel after that first, she's going to struggle to get takedowns. I could see Rosa start controlling in the clinch a little bit, winning some grappling exchanges. Eubanks tires herself out. She has no submissions in her career. On the feet, Eubanks is good early. She throws some nice punches and bunches. She has a nice head kick. To me, Eubanks needs to try to really sit down on her shots in the first. See if she can hurt Rosa, who's a bit hittable, because as the fight goes on, I think Rosa will start to boss the fight. I mean, Rosa throws straighter shots down the middle, hard punches. She throws way more volume. She throws more in combination. She's going to be their girl going forward, in my opinion, after the first round. I think she's going to chop the legs of Eubanks. She has real nice low kicks. I see her jab being very effective. I kind of see this fight being similar to the Eubanks fight with Betch Carrera, but more dominant down the stretch for Rosa. I think Rosa looks good here. I think she lands the more numbers. I think she lands damaging punches down the stretch. I think she gets some cage control, shows she can grapple with a good grappler. She may lose round 1, but I think she's going to win the fight. And I do like Karol Rosa. I think she's a good fighter. So my pick here is going to be Karol Rosa, and I'm pretty confident in the pick. And up next, we got a rescheduled fight in the co-main event with Alonzo Menifield taking on Ovince St. Preux. This fight was supposed to be a couple weeks ago, but obviously OSP had, I think he tested positive for COVID, and now they moved it a couple weeks down the line. I don't really get how that works, man. I don't know how he was, ready to fight a couple weeks ago, or not ready to fight a couple weeks ago because of that, but now he's ready to go. But, apparently he's feeling good. He's going to get on the scales, do the damn thing on Saturday, and Alonzo Menifield, he's obviously looked good at the weigh-ins in his last fight, looked a little trimmed down, but I do feel like for both of these guys, cutting that weight 2 times in a couple weeks is going to be a factor. And like I said the last time, I mean, I'm not going to break this fight down too much. I still don't have a great read on the fight. I feel like Alonzo, he lost weight, and obviously he's going to be the better guy on the feet, more explosive, close to that distance, has real nice hooks. But, he kind of has that Mike Tyson type game plan, and, a good jab kind of controls that Mike Tyson game plan like we saw with Devin Clark, and then Clark was able to survive that onslaught, control him against the cage, and he couldn't really take him down, but just wore him out with the cage control and the clinch. And OSP, like I said in my other video, he's not really a wrestler like that. Devin Clark only got 1 out of 8 takedowns, so it shows that Menifield is clearly improving pretty good with his takedown defense, and his cardio I think is going to be better with him trimming down a little bit, but still not very confident on this fight. I could see OSP getting 1 takedown closing the show. It could, after the first round, OSP, could be fresher, get the win, but I'm still going to pick Alonzo Menifield first round knockout. OSP, I feel like he's kind of on the way out a little bit. He has defeated kind of these low level guys. Not low level, but Michel Oleksiejczuk. He defeated Tyson Pedro. Just not very high level competition of late. Didn't think he looked very good versus Ben Rothwell. Kind of been jumping up and down. 37 years old. So, because of all that, I'm going to pick Alonzo. He also is coming off that, COVID test, obviously, as well. So, not confident in the pick like last time, but the pick is going to be Alonzo Menifield to get it done, and I do think he's going to get a knockout. And up next in the main event here, we got an interesting fight. We got Overeem trying to hold back another one of these young guns, up-and-comers, like he did in his last fight against Walt Harris. And he's going to be taking on Augusto Sakai, 15-1 in the UFC, or 15-1 in MMA, I'm sorry. And his only loss is to Czech Congo. He's undefeated in the UFC at 4-0. But he could easily be 2-2. I mean, he has 2 split decision wins. His win over Andrei Arlovski is very, very contested. And his win over Blagoy Ivanov in his last fight, there was kind of controversy as well because he grabbed the cage in the 3rd round and clearly avoided being taken down to the mat, which, could have been the difference in a very, very close fight. When he was taken down in the previous round, showed no ability to get back to his feet. And Overeem, obviously, he's been looking good lately. He did have the hiccup to Jairzinho, but that fight, everyone knows he was winning for, almost the entire fight, and he got caught late in the 5th round and got back up, didn't even get knocked out, but the ref called it off. Could have even been a win for Overeem there as well if the ref would have let it keep going. But, he got out there, he survived the early storm from Walt Harris, closed the show later on the ground, did a really good job there in that fight, won 3 out of the last 4 fights. He's beaten guys like Alexei Oleinik, Sergey Pavlovich, 2 tough Russians. Walt Harris was defeating Jairzinho for almost 5 rounds. So he's been doing his thing. He's been looking very good lately. And he's went to Team Elevation. You could tell his cardio has gotten up. His fight IQ is going up. He's using a lot more grappling. And in this fight, I feel like he's better everywhere. It's just obviously with Overeem, every single fight, everyone's going to talk about the durability. He's one of the guys that's been knocked out, probably the most in MMA history. He doesn't have the best chin. Even in the fight with Walt Harris, was able to survive the barrage after he got hurt, but the shot that clipped him wasn't even that clean. He went down, so, it's always a game of betting on the ream, but in his fight against Augusto Sakai, I feel like he's not really that skilled of a guy. He gets wins by being athletic, quick for a heavyweight, good forward pressure, good reach. He throws a lot of kicks, straight punches. He can crash with combinations. And with Overeem, though, I just feel like Sakai is durable as well. I didn't say that. He's durable. He could take shots and kind of wear guys down with the forward pressure and eventually, start touching them up. He throws decent kicks, low kicks, and slows guys down, but he's sloppy entering the distance. He's slow. I definitely feel like Overeem has much better footwork. He's faster, quicker with his feet. And I feel like that straight shot down the middle, that straight left that Overeem is famous for, is going to be a big issue for Augusto Sakai. We saw Blagoy sneaking those straights down the middle in. We saw Andrei Arlovski sneaking those straights down the middle, throwing combinations, getting out. If you have good footwork against a guy like Sakai, you don't stand in one spot. He kind of struggles, man. His kicks, to me, aren't very good. He throws real, slow kicks. I feel like his punches aren't very good either. I'm just not a big fan of Augusto Sakai. I've never been high on him. I know certain people like him, but he slows down in fights as well. He can get controlled against the cage. He can get taken down. And Overeem, I just feel like is better everywhere. He's more fluid on the feet, throws better kicks, throws more volume, he's more accurate, he has better shot selection. I really feel like he can pot shot this guy, walk him into shots. I think that he could take him down, control him, potentially finish him on the ground. Sakai just has that puncher's chance. I really don't even think that. I don't think Sakai has anything else. I think Overeem has the size advantage, the height, the reach. He has the athleticism advantage, even at his age, the speed advantage, the skills advantage on the feet and on the ground, the cardio advantage. He has the experience advantage. Sakai's never been 5 rounds. A lot of things are an advantage over him. Overeem fought already in this COVID era. He's been a lot more active recently than Sakai. Sakai just has the durability. He has good, decent power. I wouldn't even say he has one-punch knockout power. He's more of a accumulation guy. So I like this matchup for Overeem, man. It's a guy that's not that athletic, not a one-punch knockout guy. He's not really a specialist in any area. Look at the guys that Overeem has been losing to recently. He lost to, Curtis Blades, Francis Ngannou, Jairzinho, and Hail Mary, Stipe Miocic. These are cream of the crop guys. He's been defeating these other dudes like Sergey, Alexei, Walt Harris, and taking him out, doing what he should do. And I actually feel like all those guys, maybe not Alexei, that would be a close fight, but I feel like Sergey Pavlovich and Walt Harris would be favored over Augusto Sakai and would beat Augusto Sakai, and I feel like Alexei has potential to beat Augusto Sakai as well. So I feel like the competition level that Walt has been defeating has been not only more dangerous in Sergey and Walt, but just better overall fighters as well. So I got to go with my man, Alistair Overeem. I think he's going to get the win. I actually think he's going to get another finish here. I think he can get a knockout on the feet or on the ground, or even a submission, but probably it'll be a KO, TKO. So my pick is going to be Alistair Overeem there. And there's a lot of close lines, so it's hard to give you guys a parlay, but I'll give you 2 individual plays. Just put a bet on them, and one of them hits, you'll probably, do pretty well. I think Alexander Romanov and Karol Rosa are both very likely to win. I think Viviane Araujo is very likely to win as well. So those 3, I do kind of feel like they should get the win in those fights, but it is close odds, so if you want to play them together, play them separate, you could make some money that way as well. But I do feel like those 3 should win. If you want to parlay 2 of them together, if you want to play all 3, hopefully 2 win. Do what you want to do, but those are going to be the 3 plays that I'll give out here. And thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for supporting the channel. Make sure to comment, like, subscribe, put down who you're betting on, and let's go. Let's get it.